All right, thank you all for being here. We're here for a very important issue. As we know, because of events around the world, hate crimes and threats to religious institutions here in New York have gone up pretty dramatically in the last year. And what I did was tried to figure out what we can do here in New York to help our communities be safe and deal with the consequences of these international actions. And I convened a meeting of leaders from all faiths. We had Jewish leaders, Muslim leaders, Catholic leaders all come together, and they spoke with one voice, which was very powerful. They said, what we need is help to secure our schools. Make sure that our kids are safe, make sure that any threats to these schools are dealt with and prevented from turning into a catastrophe. And we rolled up our sleeves and came up with an idea to double the state funding for non-public school security. It is a program that already exists and is working very well. We have allocated $45 million last year for this program. That money is already spent and gone. What we need is to double it to $90 million to deal with the current threats. And that is how we can best do what we can do standing here in New York to help our communities, since we are a very international city and have people from all faiths and all over the world here. I want to bring up a couple of these leaders to speak here today. We're going to start with Maury Litwack, who is from the Orthodox Union and was instrumental in convening these meetings and getting everyone together behind this proposal.
Thank you, Deputy Leader. When I was 10 years old, I was playing with my brothers in front of our house, and a bunch of teenagers came up and harassed me and my brothers. They took my yarmulke off my head, they threw it into the street, and they pushed me down and called me stupid Jew. Recently, in downtown Manhattan, I was harassed again by a woman who screamed anti-Semitic slurs in my face, spitting in my face. This is not normal. It's not something that should occur. And I, as a father of four, don't want my children to be afraid like I was as a kid. I don't want my children to worry about going to school. And when I hear stories about Islamic children worried about going to schools and Jewish children worried about going to schools, we have a problem. And what Deputy Leader Gianaris is doing today is a solution, is action. And it's what we need from our elected officials. We need this doubling of security funding, and we need elected officials around the country to take the example the Deputy Leader Gianaris is doing and follow it, to bring communities of faith together, to stand against hate, and to lead. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some great schools right here in our own community that have already suffered the effects of what we're talking about. Their children are already facing danger and harassment and hate attacks, and I want to bring up Sister Imani from the Razi School to talk about that.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. A few weeks ago, A few weeks ago, a few of our students were leaving the school building after dismissal, and unfortunately, they were verbally and physically assaulted by a passerby. This is something that we feared would happen, and have done our best to try to circumvent that. But we need the help of the senator and the governor to get more funding so that we can have the additional security so that we can avoid these things. Children should not be afraid to go to school, to leave going home, to participate in after-school programs and things for fear of some type of hate crime happening to them. We need your support. New York should be a safe place for everyone, regardless of what your religious beliefs are. And we're pleading with you to help us make this better for all students in the New York City and the country. All right? Thank you.
Next up, we're going to hear from Rabbi Baruch Rothman from Yeshiva Darkei Torah.
Thank you, Deputy Leader Gianaris and all the senators who signed on to this very important letter. Just to give you perspective, I represent a school in Far Rockaway of 2,700 students. We have 1,300 sets of parents. Every day, parents are calling, we're scared, we need more security. This is a campus that has 5 guards, 6 guards. Kids are scared to walk to school. Parents are scared for their children to walk to school. And in the end of the day, we have 2 responsibilities. We're a service industry. Parents pay a lot of money to send their children to school. We appreciate everything that the government does in addition to that, but parents pay a lot of money to send their children to school. And like I said, it's a service industry. We have two main responsibilities. The first and foremost is keeping those children safe. Secondly, just as equally as important, we have to provide good education. But we can't educate them if they're not safe. And it's becoming, in 2023, 2024, becoming increasingly hard to have enough security, to make people not afraid to come to school. And we thank, like I said, the deputy leader for helping us with these much needed funds that without them we really can't make it in order to continue to keep all of our children safe. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate the power of the people standing behind me. All you hear about these days is division between the Muslim and Jewish communities. But here we have leaders from both standing together, speaking together, advocating for the same thing. And that is why we must get this done. We have to produce this money to make the kids safe. And I also want to recognize that we have with us Justin Giamoca from Ford and Prep. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. Because it's really all faiths that are involved in advocating for this. We come together as New Yorkers because we have people from all over the world who come here and live as neighbors and as family, and that's why it's our responsibility as a state to step up and do the right thing by them. So with that, if there's any questions, we'll take them, and I just want to thank everyone for being here. We're good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Well, hello. Just in time.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
She made it all the way from New Jersey. We'll let her
Khadija, you know, you're always ready.
introduce yourself.
Good morning, I'm Khadija Jean Price. I'm Dr. Khadija Jean Price. I'm the principal of the Islamic Cultural Center School. I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Senator. We just try and get as much funding as we can, especially in these times here. We're a religious school, so our security is one of our most important issues. So thank you again for Teach Coalition and the Senator for being here, for supporting us, because we need all the support we can get. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now we're wrapped up.
Senator,
Yes.
you want the funding for all New York City schools, all city public schools, or where specifically do you want the funding, and how much are you asking?
This is an existing program that's funded at $45 million. It's for non-public schools. That tends to go, just by virtue of what the non-public schools are, about 80% or so to religious schools, as opposed to independent private schools. And we're calling for that number to be doubled from the $45 million it's currently at to $90 million.
When do you want this done? When will there be a vote on this? And is the governor amenable to it?
The governor proposes her budget in January, so coming up just after the holidays, and then we enact the budget, if it all goes well, in March. So the idea would be to have it in the state budget that's enacted in March.
So it's not now, this is a proposal that you're working on, or that you're trying to get into the budget?
Yes, we have a current program of $45 million that we allocated last year. This will be for next year's budget.
So that's the increase, basically, is what you're trying to get into the budget.
That's right.
Have you spoken to the governor about this?
I spoke to the governor's staff, and we sent this letter to her, so she's aware of it. She's always been a supporter of security for our religious institutions in light of everything that's going on, so hopefully we'll get a positive response.
Did she give you an indication of what her feelings are?
No, not at this time. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.